Hey everyone, this is Andrew Ty and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to show you how to get FIFA 22 working on the M1 or M2 Apple Silicon Mac. So there is no macOS version of this game, we have to play the Windows version, and to do that we're going to be installing Windows 11 ARM as a virtual machine through a software called Parallels. So today I'm going to show you the entire process from start to finish. The game will run okay and I'm going to promise a very good experience, but it will play. There is some substantial stuttering and it won't be that enjoyable an experience, and I don't think you can play online either. However, it might just scratch that FIFA itch for some people. So if you haven't subscribed already, then please consider subscribing and you'll be able to keep up to date with the latest Mac gaming tutorials. So next we're going to download and install Parallels, which is the virtual machine software we're going to be using in order to run Windows 11 ARM on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac. So what I do recommend that you do is to click the link at the top of the description. This is going to take you to the Parallels download page. If you make a purchase after clicking this link, then you'll be helping to support my channel and the work that I do. So once you've clicked the link, what you can do is try the software out for free for 14 days. If you do decide to buy now and click new license, what you can do is go ahead and select the Pro Edition and then click buy now. And if you click this enter a coupon code button here, and then you type in the code AppleWiki10 and click apply, then you're going to receive a 10% discount. So here I'm going to use the free trial and I'm going to click the download now button here, and then we're going to press OK, and then the software has downloaded. So now I'm going to navigate to my Finder and then go to my Downloads folder, and then I can see here my Windows 11 ARM is still downloading. However, I'm going to go ahead and install Parallels Desktop.dmg. So here we're going to double click on the installer, and now we're going to double click on Install Parallels Desktop. Here we'll press open, and we're just going to let this finish downloading. So now we're going to enter our password and press OK. So once Parallels is installed, what we're going to do is to double click on Parallels Desktop, and then we're going to be met with this installation wizard. So here we're going to press continue, and now what we're going to do is to select the option on the left which says get Windows 11 from Microsoft. So this is actually a new option which allows us to directly download Windows 11 without having to register with the Windows Insider program. So we're going to press install Windows, and it's going to go ahead and download and install Windows 11 ARM directly from the Microsoft servers. And now we're going to let Parallels create that virtual machine for us. So now Windows 11 ARM is being installed, and this is going through the setup process. And that's going through the setup process, we just have to wait for this to complete. So now that installation is complete, we're going to press the continue button here, and Windows 11 has automatically maximized itself. You can see here that there are various updates that are already being installed. So we're going to minimize this and we're going to close this browser window. So one of the main things to do when you first start is obviously let the updates all complete. A handy tip as well is to right click on the desktop here and then click display settings. And here we're going to configure the display resolution. So scaling is something that I always change to 100%. This is because sometimes games will crash if they're run at a higher display scale. So now we're going to install Steam. So I'm going to click on the Microsoft Edge icon here, and then we're going to type in the web address steampower.com, and then we're going to click this button on the top right called Install Steam, and then we're going to be downloading and installing the Windows version of Steam so that we can play it on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac. So once that's downloaded, we're going to press Open File, press the Yes button here, and now we're going to go through the Steam setup process. So here we're going to press Next, select English, select Install here, and let Steam install. Now we're going to finish and press Run Steam. So now we're just going to let Steam update. So if you don't have a Steam account, you can go ahead and create a new account for free. However, I'm going to log into my existing account now. And now we have the Windows version of Steam installed. So we now can go to our library, and then if I maximize this, we can go ahead and select FIFA 22, and now we can press the install button here, and it's going to allow us to install the entire game. If you don't have FIFA 22 added to your Steam account already, you can just do a search for it on the store page, and you'll find the game is available to download here. It's also possible to get a cheaper subscription for it. If you want to play for just a month, you can purchase the EA Play subscription and you get access to FIFA 22 here. So here I'm going to go to my library. We're going to click install, and we're going to install FIFA 22 in its default location. Press I agree, and it's going to go ahead and start that install process. So it's 44 gigabytes in size, so just wait for that to finish. So now that the download is complete, what I'm going to do is to press the play button and launch the game. Here we're going to press yes to allow this app to make changes. That's going to go through the process of installing the Origin Thin Setup, VC Redistributable Package, and all the other first time setup dependencies. So now the launch window's come up, and we'll go to game settings, and we're going to turn the settings to low, and we're not going to set a limit on frame rate. Press OK, and then here we're going to press play. So it might take a little bit of time for this window to pop up, but just be a little bit patient and you'll be able to play the game. Here I'm going to press Shift function F1 in order to get the Origin overlay to load up. And here I'm just going to enable the frame rate counter so we can see what the performance is like. And now we are in the main menu. So next thing I'm going to do is to pair my controller before we play the game. So I'm using my Xbox One wireless controller. What I'm going to do is to press Option and Tab to get into the desktop. So now I'm just going to connect up a controller before I play the game. And with Parallels, it's often a little bit easier to use a wired controller. So I'm just going to plug in my Xbox One wireless controller with my micro USB cable. And once that's connected up, I'm going to connect it up to the Windows side and then click Always Allow. And then the Microsoft controller should be picked up. So I'm going to use my controller here. So another tip is to not to allocate more than half of the RAM to the virtual machine. That's because if you do, then you're going to have crashes when you try to run the game. So what I do recommend that you do is you take half of your available RAM and you actually reduce this by 1 GB. So for example, I'm running this on an 8 GB MacBook Pro M2. And what I'm going to do is to run 3 GB instead of 4 GB, and that's going to leave enough headroom for the video driver to not crash when running the game. So if you want to tweak some of these more advanced settings, just go to the top right here on the macOS side, go to the control center, and then this is where your virtual machine is. We're going to click on the cog icon here, and if we're in general to begin with, we just click on the hardware tab here, and then you can see that the CPU memory option is available here. So you can tweak this if your virtual machine has been shut down, and you can use the recommended setting, which is 4 CPU cores, 3 GB of RAM, which allows for some RAM to be allocated for graphics. However, what I do recommend doing is, if you have the Pro version, is to allocate 6 CPU cores, and then we can manually add slightly under half of our memory so that the game doesn't crash. So in my case, this is 3072 megabytes, which is 3 GB of RAM. And all we need to do to activate this is to shut this window down, and then we can press the play button here to restart our virtual machine. So what you're going to notice with this particular game is that basically it doesn't run that well through Parallels. It is a playable game, however, it is not exactly a perfect experience. You're going to find quite a lot of stutters and performance hitches, but you can play the game. Now, I'm not even sure you can play this game via multiplayer, however, it is a playable experience. As you can see here, we're running about 45 frames per second in game. So now this is how you get the game FIFA 22 working in a virtual machine on the macOS operating system. If you found this video useful, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
A very good tackle. Nketiah. Great opportunity.